Welcome back, game friends. Game 2 of SummerSlam 2024. Thriller starting off, jamming for Black, Jackson White. Thriller out of the pack first, lead jammer. Jack's picking up the penalty, head of the box. Thriller going to be on the power jam. Pack set up on the far straightaway. Thriller hits the pack on a scoring pass now. Thriller brought back to turn 2. Thriller on the inside, 4 points. Jack's penalty time over, looking for get that initial pass. Dynaslam checking him out, bringing it back to turn 2. Thriller still working on a scoring pass here. Looks like one blocker to get out past. Gets checked down and laying down, going to call off the jam. 3-point signaled for Thriller, 3-point signal for Jax. Four-point signaled for Black. Two 4-point passes for Black team, gets off to an 8-3 start. Janet Snahole is lead jammer, getting out of the pack. Slaytoven through the pack again, picking up 4 points. And Janice Skatehole gets through the pack, picking up 4 points, calling it off. Static Shock, jamming in Black, smacks a lot on White. Both jammers line up towards the outside. Static takes the inside of the outside, finds an outside lane, coming away lead jammer. Hook taking the star pass from Smaxolotl. And Hulk picks the pack, picking up 1 point. 4-1 advantage Black. Point update, White picking up 2 points. 4-2 advantage that jam for Black. Rolling Thunder coming away lead jammer in white. Ricky Bobby jamming in black, losing that star at the jam ends. And White picking up the 4 points that jam. Black with your lead, 20-17. NSO's taping down the track real quick, trying to keep the game clock going, but not going to get it done in time. And while we got a quick moment in the action, big thank you to our sponsors, to PFLAG. And also to Pilot House. Thanks to all our sponsors supporting Cape Girardeau Roller Derby and SummerSlam 2024. Slaytoven in black on the jam line. And I believe TPQ is in white. Slaytoven coming out first, lead jammer in black. Pack holds steady at turn 1, still working TPQ over on that initial pass. Penalty box clears out, Pack spread out. Pack in the back at turn 1, Slaytoven picking up 4. TPQ puts the star back on, Slaytoven waiting, gonna call it off as he rolls up on the Pack. No point signal for white, 1 point signal for black. 5 total for Slaytoven. Static Shock back on the black on the jam line. Janet Skatehole in white. Black down the blocker as they line up at the front of the pack. Black blocker skating back to the jam line on the wide defense. Static Shock finds the inside lane at turn 1, coming away clean. Lead jammer. Static takes a look back. Looks like we're gonna have some jammer and jammer defense. Janet Skatehole's able to take the hits, shrug them off, and go off to the races, forcing the call off with a 0-0. Ricky Bobby in black with a star. Jackson White with a star. Black missing a blocker lined up front. White in the 4 wall on the jam line. Our jammers lined up in I formation. Ricky Bobby powering through, breaking way through turn 1. Jack's run back to the jam line and checked out again, bringing it back to turn 4 as Ricky Bobby on a scoring pass. Take the inside lane, cutting the outside. Back the inside, checked out, going down. White defense at the front, black defense running Jack's back to the jam line again. Ricky Bobby working the outside lane. White defense at the front now. Pack's getting stretched out. Looks like Squid's bridging for the black team to keep him in play. Ricky Bobby takes the one final check, shrugs it off. 4 points on the far straightaway. Pack regroups between turn 1 and 2. Ricky Bobby back at the pack again. Jack's still working that initial pass. 4 points now for Ricky Bobby on the far straightaway. And black defense bringing the pack back to the jam line. Recycling Jack's back again. Ricky Bobby drawing penalties on white blockers. Failure to reform called on some of the white blockers as Ricky Bobby breaks out 4 more points. And it looks like Jax get caught on the track cut, going to be head of the box, and Ricky Bobby rolling up in the pack, going to go ahead and call it off. The black team will start off with the power jam with Slaytoven on the jam line. Looks like white team down jammer and a blocker. Black's defense sitting up on the outside lane and goes off to work to try to play a little O and clear a path. Slavin finds an inside lane, gets tripped up, stays in bounds, checked out of bounds, but looks like TPQ goes out. Slaytoven already lead when that happens and is off to the races, lead jammer. Black defense losing a blocker. White back to 4 in the pack. Slaytoven checked out on the far straightaway, run back. Right back to turn 2. Slaytoven pushing those hips back, gets checked out of bounds hard. Jax is out of the box now. Initial pass, I believe. Yeah, that would be initial pass. And calling off the jam. Looks like 4 points signal for Slaytoven, 0 in the air for the white team and Jax. Quick point update, 17 for the white team, 41 for the black team. 33-25 to go on game clock. Bones Appetit jamming in whites. Static Shock in black coming away lead jammer. Bones brought back. And it looks like we're going to pick up a track cut. Yoshi catching Bones Appetit on that track cut, running all the way back to turn 4 as Bones came in front. Static Shock working on a scoring pass here, 4 points. OPAC signaled. Yoshi Statics checked out, checked back in, but not doing it completely clean. Picking up a track cut. We're going to have a 2-minute jam here with Bones Appetit. Penalty time over now, back in the pack. I believe this will be an initial pass as well. Worked out, going to be brought back. Yielding again to make sure not get that track cut. Thriller taking them all the way back to turn 2. White defense setting up for Static Shock. Penalty time over, rejoining on turn at the start of turn 3. Bones check back to the middle of the far straightaway. Static Shot through the pack. Looks like 4 points signal that final pass. 0 final points signaled for Bones Appetit. And that jam looks like Thriller picking up a penalty. So Black will be down a blocker in the pack. Quick official timeout. Want to make sure that track gets taped down so nobody gets tripped up. Thanks everybody tuning in the stream today. And of course, thank you to our sponsors as well. Thanks to Horizon Screen Printing and Legends as well. And a big thank you to our vendors, Jenna Riley, Marla Moore, Jason Sayers, all set up with merchandise here today. And don't forget, if you're tuning into the stream, we have a full day of derby, so you still got lots of time to get out here with the main event coming up at 6. Polly Rath, jamming in black, coming away lead jammer. Trekkie jamming in white. Polly hits the pack, making up points and calling off the jam. Death of LaPaw jamming in the black. Or excuse me, in whites. Brought back to turn 4. Ricky Bobby in black. Back now, back between the jam and pivot line. As soon as I say that, Death of LaPaw breaking out lead jammer. Devil Podge yelling out instructions to the 4 wall. Hits the pack and calls it off. 1 point signal for white. 3 point signal for black. Exene on the jam line for black team. Jacks in white with a star. 28.5 to go in the game. Exene finding the outside, or the lead jammer status coming out turn 1. Jacks check back almost to the jam line. Finds an outside lane, gets through on that initial pass. Exene in the pack, scoring points. Up against the 4 wall up front, calling it off. Petitioning for a point she wants, and 4 point signal for the black team. 0 signal for white. Beastie jamming in white for the white team. Well, for the white team, obviously. Static Shock in black. And Beastie will be the 9th jammer for the white team with that 1 star pass included. Static Shock to the inside, 4 points signaled. White still working an initial pass. Beastie holding the star, drops it, picks it back up. Forcing the black defense to look for that star. I believe that's Yossi bringing it back to turn 2. Slaytoven head to the box. Static Shock on the north scoring pass. Star passed off now for the white team. And Trekkie pivot taking the star, but picking up a track cut there. Now Static Shock and the black team off to a power jam, 4 more points and calling it off. Shout out to DeLuny watching in the stream. Looking forward to seeing you later. Diana Slamma lined up the jam on the jam line in black. Trekkie will be starting off in the box for the white team. And Diana Slamma transitions, gets through. Coming away lead jammer. Deathalapod looking for the check. Getting out of play, having to let her go. Back end just as far as straight away. Diana Slamma in the pack, picking up points. Black going to hold the pack steady. And Diana's going to work across against the 4 wall up front of the white team. One of the white blockers getting called on failure to reform. And now another white blocker at the box for directional. Jax gets stretched out of play. Got to let Diana go, picking up 4 points. Diana through the pack again, 4 more points. Attempted star pass from Trekkie to TPQ. TPQ, not the jammer, had to let the star go. Trekkie picks it back up, puts it back on. I believe working on the initial pass still as the pack gets spread out. A few whistles there at the end, and we'll give you any updates we can. 8 points for black team, that jam. Janice Skatehill in white, Thriller in black. White down 2 blockers. Janice Skatehill through first, lead jammer. Pack spread between turn 1 and the far straightaway. White blocker gets out of play, got to let Thriller go. Both jammers on scoring pass. 1 point for Janet, 0 point signal for Thriller. Beastie in white, Static Shock in black. It looks like Static Shock is lead jammer. Getting tripped up after getting the lead jammer status. I'm gonna go ahead and call it off with Beastie ahead to deny any points. Rolling Thunder back on the jam line in white. Rolling Thunder going to be lead jammer. Yoshi jamming in black, brought back to the jam line. Rolling Thunder head of the box for a track cut. So 2-minute jam with Yoshi now on a power jam. Pack holding steady at the front of the far straightaway. Wyatt losing Chucky for forearms, getting scolded by our referees, the outside and inside pack refs. Yoshi slamming on the brakes, scooting through on the inside, 4-point signal. Yoshi working the cuts, takes the check, steps through, 4 more points. Power jam over now. Beastie back in the pack. This should be a scoring pass for Beastie. We've got a whistle, 4-point signal for Yoshi. White losing a blocker, smacks a lot on the head of the box. Chucky rejoins the pack. Greeted with a shoulder check from Slit Throat in black. Yoshi transitions again to avoid the checks, 4 more points signaled. Beastie probably expects a few points, but check back brought all the way back to turn 4. Pack now between the jam line and pivot line, holding steady, holding Beastie as Yoshi skates through, picking up 4 more points, and jam time ends. Beastie picking up 8 points at jam. Yoshi picking up 24 points at jam. Exene on the jam line in black, Jackson White. Jack steps through on the outside, picking up lead jammer. White team with the blocker advantage as they turn to turn 2. Exene still working the initial pass, 1 blocker to get past on the far straightaway, gets out. Jack's on the scoring pass, 4-point signal. Gonna go ahead and call it off as they come around to the close straightaway. .40 jam advantage for White. Janice Skatehole back on the jam line. Static Shock in black. Static check back to turn 4 behind the jam line. Now powering through. Janice Skatehole still working the front at the pivot line. Pushed out of turn 1. And Static Shock breaking through first. Lead jammer. Just about 30 seconds to get our lead jammer here. 1.5 minutes on the jam time. Static on a scoring pass now. Pack stretched out of play. Quick feet work, stepping through the outside, 4 points for black. Yoshi and Janice Skatehole doing the limbo together. Yoshi getting through, picking up 4 points, calling it off as Star passed off from Janice Skatehole, I believe, to Beastie. Ricky Bobby on the jam line in black. Rolling Thunder in white on the jam line. Rolling Thunder out first, lead jammer. Ricky Bobby tripped up on the inside, brought back behind turn one. Rolling Thunder picking up 3 points, but picking up a penalty as well, so we'll have a 2-minute jam. Ricky Bobby making that initial pass, I believe. Ricky Bobby through, 4 points. Back holding steady at turn one. Ricky Bobby takes the outside, cuts to the inside, but checked out. And Chucky picking up a forearms. Ricky Bobby going slow now. We got a 2-minute jam here, so been working hard to get through the four wall of White's defense. Four points for the black team. Big shoulder check by Schlitthroat. Harlot trying to keep Schlitt from running back. Rolling Thunder brought back all the way to turn one. Ricky Bobby in the pack now on the end of the far straightaway, picking up 4 more points. And Rolling Thunder handing the star off to Chucky as the jam ends. Good sessions to be open here in about 10 minutes. Mueller Munchies, our food truck, serving up snow cones, hamburgers, hot dogs, and barbecue for you here. Official timeout. Score update, 1 additional for White, 36 for White, 128 black, 13:54 on the clock. Thriller jamming in black, Jackson White. Penalty box clear. And Jax brought back to turn 4. Thriller brought back to turn 4 as well. Jax does a hop through on the inside, lead jammer for the White team. Jack's checked out, going to recycle behind, and going to call it off with Thriller rolling up on the pack. Good call out from Coach Chops in the white bench. Polly Rath in black. Janet Skatehole in white. Janet Skatehole working the initial line. Pauly working up the middle. Janet goes up the inside. Checked out hard. Official timeout. Step away for a moment and check on our skater. Make sure they're good to go. patient. We'll get restarted here in just a minute. So you can make it too, Teeny Tip. Thanks for tuning in. Glad we got the stream up and going for everybody. Thanks for being patient. Want to make sure our skaters get attended to on the bench as well. We're respecting their privacy. So we'll get our EMTs back to their positions and we'll get restarted here as soon as the refs get everything wrangled. Got 12 and a half to go in the game clock. 37 white, 128 black. And we are ready to get restarted. All right, Jackson the jam line in white, Static Shock in black. Black team missing Diana Slamus starting off of the box. Both jammers working the way side to side. Static Shock steps to the inside, cuts the outside, but Jax comes away first, lead jammer. Pack sets up at turn one. Jax on the outside, picking up 4 points. Gonna keep it rolling. Static Shock hits the pack on the inside, loses speed, but slides through. 4-point signal for black. Jax rolls up on the pack now. Gonna go ahead and call it off with Static Shock rolling up as well. No point signal either team that pass. 4-4 jam for our teams. Turkey Monster lined up the jam in white, Slaytoven in black. Both packs sitting up on the jam line in front of each other, black in the front. Slaytoven finds an inside, Trekkie trying to work the inside. An assist from the blocker, and Slaytoven breaks out first, lead jammer. Pack mix it up with Trekkie now, trying to get through the pack. And Trekkie picking up a forearms, gonna head to the box. Slaytoven in black gonna have a power jam here. As Slaytoven breaks through the pack, picking up 4 points. They're gonna go ahead and call it off. Start with a full 30-second power jam. Trekkie starting off in the box in white, Polly Rath in black. White blockers starting up at the pivot line this jam. And jam a little fast right now on the far straightaway, almost to turn 3. Polly's still not out of the pack yet. Car crash out of the box. Beastie head of the box. And another blocker out of the box is going to get waved off. So Polly Rath through the pack, picking up the 4 points. Trekkie's penalty time's over. Now going to work on an initial pass. Polly's skating through unscathed as the white blockers are focused on assisting their jammer. With our 2 blockers penalty time over for the white team over. Our third is going to head to the box now. That's their third time. Trekkie holding the star, getting worked over by the defense of black team stretched backwards. While a white tripod working against Polly at the front. Looks like 3 final points signaled as jam gets called. 3 final for the black team. Rolling Thunder jamming in white, Thriller in black. White team, white tripod lined up front, missing one of their blockers. Black tripod on the jam line with a bridge up with a white tripod. Rolling Thunder working side to side initially. Thriller skates ahead, looking for an outside lane, spreading out the tripod of white defense. Bridging them out, stretching them out, breaking through, coming away lead jammer. Slit throat with that final hip check. Getting caught on the penalty, slit throat head of the box, but I think I saw 4 point signal for the black team. 3 points rather. Jackson white with the star, Static Shock in black with the star. Black missing a blocker. White lined up on the jam line. Jax checked out as he tried to run the outside lane. Georgia going to bring it back to turn 4. And Jax finds the outside lane, coming away lead jammer for the white team. Pack setting up their defenses now at turn 2. Jax rolling up in the pack, avoiding the checks. Trying to pick up the points and calling it off. 4 point signal for white, 3 point signal for black. Rolling Thunder rocking the star in white, Yoshi in black with the star. Penalty boxes empty. Yoshi coming away first, pushing through, lead jammer. Back spread out turn 2 now. And black's gonna lose a defender. 0 point signal for black. And 1 point signal for white. Hard fought earned point there. Last 5 on the clock for the game. .46 white, 153 black. Slaytoven on the jam line in black. And TPQ in white. TPQ looking for the outside lane, ran out of bounds by Schlitthrope, rocked back to the jam line. Slaytoven on the inside of turn 2, coming away lead jammer. TPQ stretching out the black defense, gets past Schlitthrope, keeping it in bounds as he goes down. Initial pass, Slaytoven breaks through, 4 points, calls it off. Four and a half on the game clock. Defilipod in white with a star, Yoshi in black. Black down a blocker as they line up ahead of white at a tripod. White team on the jam line. Yoshi looking to check out Defilipod on the inside. Defilipod able to stay in. Skates ahead to beat the 3-wall of Black's defense. Now getting checked down the outside. Yoshi stretching the pack all the way to turn 2. And coming away lead jammer. Yoshi goes to work, jammer and jammer defense here against Defilipod. And Defilipod checked out of bounds. White losing a blocker to a back block. Defilipod taking that final check, getting hooked, it looked like. Almost like a do-si-do, shrugging it off. 4 points signaled each jammer. Back to jammer on jammer defense. It looks like white blocker's going to lose a blocker to failure to reform. Defilipod looking winded now, working against that black defense. Yoshi through the pack, 4 points. Go the full 2 minutes, 4 final points signal for black team. And Defilipod picking up 3 final points on their final pass. Final 2 minutes on the game clock. Status Shock in black. Rolling Thunder in white. White blockers in the back right on the jam line with a tripod. Static Shock looks for the inside lane, gets checked out. Cuts to the outside, takes the hip check from Car Crash, breaks away. Lee Jammer out of sight of turn 1. Slip throw going for that hip check on Rolling Thunder, not able to connect. Static Shock gets low, beam dips on the outside before hitting turn 3, picking up 4 points. Rolling Thunder checked out of bounds to the inside of turn 3. Black blocker getting called in directional head of the box now. Rolling Thunder working on a scoring pass. Breaks through. Slit throat getting stretched out of play. Got to let him go. 4-point signal for Rolling Thunder. Static Shock jumping the turn, picking up 4 points on turn 4. Packs now to the jam line. And Rolling Thunder in the pack now. Static Shock going to go ahead and call it off. Final 23 seconds. All right, we're calling off the jam for official timeout to tape the track, quote unquote. One final jam. Okay, not quote unquote. And with a break in the action, a big thank you to our sponsors, Early Bird Lawn and Landscaping, also to Sick Tricks. Big thank you to all our Cape Girardeau SummerSlam, or our Cape Girardeau season sponsors. It's like Yoshi jamming in black and TPQ in white. Blacker down the blocker. TPQ up front working against the black defense, stretching them out, running them up, breaking through. Lead jammer white. Yoshi working the inside lane, coming away, making that initial pass. TPQ in the pack, picking up some points. And gonna pick up the points to call it off. Our final jam. No point signal black and 4-point signal white. That'll be our game. Your score is 63 whites with those 4 final points and 181 for the black team.